Hey everyone, just doing another live stream, just getting the reps up and really actually quite enjoy these sessions. So I'm just going to just keep going through vibe coding. Uh, Vibe coding is an odd name for it. It's certainly a name that piques interest, but also has some unrealistic expectations to it. So we'll get into that. We'll get into that. I think it's a cool name. I think it's definitely a thing, but it's not going to. There's pros and cons. There's pros and cons, and that's what we can get into today. And think like what I've learned massively over the last 6 to 9 months is the opportunity is wild. If you invest a bit of time in these tools and see what's possible, it's absolutely changing the trajectory of like enterprise DNA of what I am doing personally. Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. So I'm going to show you from start to finish. I think like we'll see how it goes. I mean, you tell me what you want to learn and what you want to see. But there's a lot of fundamentals that I think are absolutely crucial to this that maybe are overlooked. Things like GitHub, backend, front end. Just manage. Like, there's a lot to manage. Like one of the ones that I've been sort of stumbling a little bit on and trying to get more across is emails, managing emails for your platform. So those are just some things that we can really dive into. Please feel free to add a comment whenever you like. I'm happy to have a discussion at any time. Hopefully the quality is good. I've done a few of these. We're sending this out through a number of different channels just to sort of test it. But yeah, interested to see you're here. Hopefully the quality is good. Maybe I'll just have a quick look around, just see what the quality is like. I've upgraded a few things from my last one that I did just to try and get the quality better. Okay, cool. Doesn't look too bad. Not too bad. Okay, so I'll just show you what I've been doing, and we can go from there. So I've been using a tool quite extensively called Lovable, which I really like. There is a number out there though. It's an incredible market. It's super competitive now. Super competitive. If I just jump on here, just switch these around actually. Customize. Is off. There we go. Okay, cool. So I use this tool called Lovable, which I will showcase here. So there's a few though, and I actually have subscriptions to so many. I have subscriptions to Bolt, which is another one. So bolt.new. See here, bolt.new. And this is also pretty good. So I have it connected up to my account. Then I also have V0. I also have IDEs like Windsurf and Cursor. I think I have another one as well. I tried out Google Firebase the other day, but that's honestly, I didn't think that was very good. I didn't rate it at all, actually. But I like Lovable just because of ease. Okay, so I've found this just incredibly easy to get a prototype going. I always hit a ceiling with Lovable. I do. I always hit a ceiling, and then I've been forced to sort of figure out like how to actually code and how to actually build quality apps. But just even building a prototype has been super valuable because what I've been able to do is I've got developers in my team, and so I've been able to sort of set the vision quite quickly and easily, and then I've been able to hand that to my developers to sort of take it to the next level. And so that's instead of having them sort of have to figure everything out. I can do a lot of that. I can do a lot of that myself, right? And so that's valuable. That's really valuable compared to historically. I would just have to describe it, or I'd need to do some. I used to actually draw in my notebook and take photos of it and send to them. But now I can actually build really meaningful prototypes. And I'm not talking about 1 hour prototypes or 2 hour prototypes. I'm talking about like 20 hours, 40 hours, 50 hours of like really high quality prototypes. And I can then give it to them. I mean, that's not really that much when you think about the value you could generate from a high quality business application, right? And then I can then hand that to my developers who can then take it to the next level. I think you can, like, if you actually learn how to code, or you learn not like code in the traditional sense, but you learn how to build high quality applications, you can actually get seriously far right now. I'll show you a couple of ones that I've been working on, right? So AI builders here. So this is a new community site. This is something I actually built last week. And I built most of it on my iPad to begin with, and then I've sort of come into my machine. I was actually on holiday last week, and then I've come into my machine to sort of enhance it and improve it. And so this is a fully functioning community site, fully functioning. We had our AI builders community site traditionally, which was with this platform called Circle, and I didn't really like it. I didn't like one particular thing, but that I couldn't load up lots of images, but also I didn't like, I just couldn't customize it the way that I wanted to. Like, I wanted to, potentially build out banners for events that we might run. Maybe add like a way to showcase your projects, and just new and innovative ways that you could show things in this space, in this AI builder space. And so, yeah, I just felt I needed to do my own custom thing, and so I could use it as a learning experience. And you'll see here the great thing about Lovable is that it's the connections, the integrations to key things in your app development are already there, right? One of them is Superbase. So Superbase is this backend database service, and they have been super smart in how they've integrated. Both Lovable have been smart and Superbase have been smart, because I've become from nothing. If I just come here, I've become a huge Superbase user just because of the ease of the integration, right? So if I just come here, you'll see here, I have all of these databases just sitting within Superbase because they're all these apps that I've started and I've started to build out, right? But they make the backend historically with app development notoriously difficult. You have to learn so much. You have to learn SQL. You need to know a whole lot of database fundamentals. I'm sort of lucky because I come from that Power BI background, data model background, so I already have a bit of that, and kind of know what's going on there. But they still make it so much easier within here, right? Like, the AI actually writes all of your SQL for you. It builds the database for you based on what you're actually building within Lovable. So it gets the AI to think about, okay, what is the database that we want here for this particular application? And it actually builds it via its own SQL commands for you automatically, which is incredible, absolutely incredible. So if I just come here, you'll see here I come to AI builders. So we've got like a lot of action here. These are high because every time I do something like this, that is a call. Like, that is an action, right? That needs to be recorded here. So there's a lot going on. And there's going to be a lot going on in this application. But if we look here, I'll just go to database, right? So this entire database here, right? This entire database was created by the AI, by the Lovable AI, right? And built in a best practice way, and really ready to go, right? And so historically, that just took so long. And also just like connecting to the front end, connecting the right tables to the front end. That from a coding perspective, a lot of learning had to be done there, a lot of trial and error, but it's very, very seamless within Lovable. Very, very seamless. Like that part of it is Lovable is not perfect, but that part of it is very, very, very strong. The other thing about Supabase, which is really good, is they have these things called edge functions. And this is actually a very smart way to manage AI API calls. That is something that historically didn't really know at all, right? I didn't really understand that. And this is a much smarter way, particularly if your app gets somewhat popular in a short space of time. This is a much smarter way to scale out, particularly AI API calls. And so this is sort of built right in there. Also, and also the AI just does it for you. It creates the edge function for you, which is just incredible. So that integration is just so big, right? So big. Supabase, by the way, just got valued at $2 billion. And I would almost guarantee they probably weren't even worth $100 million a year ago. They are a rocket ship because of these integrations that they've created. Now, the other really high quality integration here is GitHub. This is the best integration that I've seen, actually, to get GitHub. So if you're not familiar with GitHub, you need to be familiar with GitHub. If you want to get into this sort of thing, this sort of work within like app development, vibe coding, you need to use GitHub. You need to get the basics of GitHub going, okay, like in your mind. So GitHub is just a way to store the files in your application, right? And so what Lovable does is it actually does that for you automatically, which is kind of crazy, right? Like it sends, every time you do an edit, it goes and updates your GitHub repository. Now, one of the things that I've been doing lately, and what is really good in here, is you can also create branches very, very simply. And so what I've done here is I actually work from a different branch now. So because I'm quite far down in this development, I think I've done maybe 300 edits or something from nothing. And I've pushed it live. I've got it on a live website. I've got some people testing it. I don't want every single time I'm making an edit within Lovable to update the main branch, because the main branch in GitHub is what is rendering on my website through this tool called Netlify, right? So this is called version control. This is what I think a lot of vibe coders are not actually doing, right? They're not actually really thinking through this because it's all kind of new and there's a lot of moving parts here. So what I've really been doing lately is this more like I've been very smart about my versioning control, particularly if I have a website that is live. If it's not live, I don't think it really matters. But if it's live and you've got users, you don't want to be pushing to production immediately all the time, right? So, that is another really high quality integration that they have here that is worth having a look into. Okay. Just having a look, just making sure. Okay, cool. Hey, everyone, if you're tuning in, don't hesitate to ask anything on the chat if you want to ask some questions. Okay, so I built the initial prototype of this in about 10 hours, I would say, and that included like all of the database, all of the front end, all of the AI calls, which there isn't actually that many in here right now. There's a few. I've laid a few on. Like for example, this one. This is like a latest update sort of thing. I've set up emails. I've set up authentication. I've set up a lot of features actually. The other thing about Superbase, by the way, which is also insanely helpful, is it helps you set up your authentication, like your sign in pages, your sign up pages. It has that built in. So again, it's not sort of it's not a finished product, but it gets you going really quickly, because they don't look after your emails and things like that. You need an additional service, but it enables you to set it all up. So you have all of you have multi-factor. You can set up multi-factor. You can do your sign in, sign up pages, etc. And it also enables you to do like Google sign in and Microsoft sign in, all these sort of things. It has them layered in here. It's not like one click and you're done. There is a little bit additional. There's additional work to it, but it definitely makes it easier than historically, right? So all of these things combined just make the experience, like, you just think they've abstracted away so much of the very, very difficult stuff and made it literally 10 times easier. They truly have. So that is, why I really like it as a beginner tool, as a way to get into this. And yeah, you find that it can get you really far, and you can do some impressive things. And then you find that as you hit the ceiling, just like learning anything, you find that you need to take your skills to another level and maybe use some other tools and maybe open source projects and things like that. But as a starting point to sort of get into this and to discover what's possible, this to me is a really, really high quality tool. So if I just come back, I'm just gonna. So you see here I've got you can actually look at all your database tables are in here, right? So you see here that we've been doing a lot of testing inside of here. So got a question, security features. So this is what a lot, like, I know, like, it seems like it's the big thing, like everyone's scared about the security feature, but specifically, what are you worried about in terms of the security, right? Like, it's just like any application online. Security is a big thing. Like, to me, Superbase is a really tested application, right? There, in terms of just data, right? It's just data or security aspects of users, etc. I mean, tons and tons of applications online work on Superbase, right? So that sort of side of things is very secure, I would say. The thing that you've got to learn a little bit more about is, and I've learned this over a period of time from a security perspective, is you need to be careful of things like your API keys and things like this. That's where you need to be a bit more skilled in knowing what to do. And I benefit because I've got developers on my team, and so they've been able to just highlight a lot of things. And what we've done is we have also built no code. So this is an application that we've built at Enterprise DNA that I've decided that I'm going to release to all of our members and subscribers after we get out of beta. And what you learn is there's a lot of ways that things can, like, your front end can render, right? And you've got to be just really, really careful about what you're showcasing in the front end of your application versus the back end. So there's a little bit there. I'll show you what we've done inside of no code to really, really help with this, right? I think that would be helpful. Hey Fiona, that's welcome. Good to see you on here. So what's your process for vibe coding this app from initial setup to adding features? So really, really good question. So you know what? I just had an idea. Here. I know, Fiona, you've been active on our AI Builders app, right? So I'll show you. I'll show you why. I'll show you why I actually got into this. I built this out. Okay, so the one thing that used to annoy me, the one thing used to annoy me so much here was I go to try and make a post, right? And I add an image. I can only add one image. One image. I can only add one file at a time. And that used to drive me mad because I want to show lots of images, right? And so that one feature, I was just like, okay, this, I'm done. I'm done with this. I want to build something custom. I might not have every single feature that Circle has, but I can customize it around how I want it, right? And so I can come in here and I've added the ability to add multiple images in a carousel, right? And so when I also create a post here, I can add images like this, and it loads multiple images for me. So that one thing, I was like, this is what I wanted. So I decided, okay, I just want to create a social media app like that. If I have a look about what I did, obviously I had the social media or community, social media / community idea, right? But if I just go right back to the start, this might take a while because I've done so many edits inside of here. Let's see. I mean, we can just trace what I did by looking at what I asked, right? And so I probably started from memory with, hey, I want to build a community site where users can post to. I'm pretty sure I would have just literally described what I wanted, and then I would have, that's what vibe coding is, right? It's like you're vibing with the AI. The AI is sort of coming up with the rendering of your idea. When you get to a certain point, it doesn't really become vibe coding anymore. It becomes like more precise coding. But anyway, it's sort of become like this singular name that everyone likes to think, likes to think negatively about it. But I like it for what it is. I think it's a great way to get started, and I think anyone who uses these tools will find the same thing. Like you truly will. You truly will. Hold on, I'll see if I can get back to the start, and then we can sort of maybe retrace what I sort of did. I think this is getting back to when I started, and it'll be interesting to see. Like you'll see when I actually started this. I started it only last week. I basically finished it on the weekend, last weekend. How just those who are watching on LinkedIn, how is the quality of the video for this? I'm interested. I'm just trying to get the quality as high as we can on these live streams. And I'm also sort of doing a lot more live streams now because I'm just getting ready for this new initiative, this data agents initiative. So I've already sort of stated this on LinkedIn that we're gonna live stream creating data agents with AI. And so I'm just sort of trying to get all of my gear as good as I possibly can for this. Okay, here we go. So I started this, right? I'll show you. The video quality is really good. Okay, that's awesome. That's really awesome to hear. Great, really great. So I started this, by the way. Let's have a look. It's not saying. I think I started at 23rd, maybe 23rd or 24th of this month. A full screen to be able to see. Well, I can do this. I can do this. What do you think? Is that a bit better? Yeah. Why don't I do that for now? Okay. So just based on what I can do is I can also make this a bit wider. Hold on a sec. Okay, hopefully that's a bit better. So you see here, I started with, I want to create a Twitter clone but an entirely different UI. So I was like, I want to create Twitter, but I want to create it totally custom. So, I want to create my own user experience. I want the posting to be stacked across the screen into squares. So on the main page, you see at least 9 squares, small navigation on the left-hand side, button to add a post, and other simple features to promote posting. So that's how I started. That's literally how I started. I didn't have that much planning. This is what true, I think, like what true vibe coding actually is, right? Like you just kind of tell the AI your idea, and then you sort of see what it comes up with. If you like it, you pursue it. If you don't, you get it to adjust. And this is such an amazing way to start a project. It truly is. It's certainly new, but I love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah, it's not going to get you to the end. It's certainly not going to get you to the end, but an amazing way to build a prototype. Absolutely seamless way to make a prototype. And you'll see here that it starts off, builds quite a lot of stuff for me, and then it does pretty well at the start here. And then okay, so let's look at what I said in the second instance. Great, there needs to be also the ability to post images into posts. So I got onto my image, it was my image issue pretty early on, right? Up to 20 per post, but they would be within a carousel in the post highlight on main page. Individual posts from the card would open up as a modal dialogue with info on the post. Okay. You know why this kind of sounds like gibberish as well is that I very rarely actually type anything. I'm always voice typing. And and I built the majority of this actually on my iPad. And the transcription on iPad is unbelievably terrible. But what's cool is the AI just like kind of figures it out. So you don't even need, you just need to kind of get the message across. And even if grammatically it's not perfect, it doesn't really matter. So that's just something that I highly recommend. Highly recommend just doing voice on all your interactions with AI. It's been one of the biggest unlocks for me. I've been doing it for months and months now. Okay, so it keeps building it, and then the other reason I like Lovable is because it's sort of got best practice development baked in, and you actually learn quite quickly like what's a good idea, like refactoring, for example. What you want in your code base is you want it to be really, really modular. Okay, so I'll just jump in here to what the code view is inside of here. So I know when you first see, like just like I did, when you first see this as someone new to coding, you have no idea what any of this stuff means. No idea. Now, I have got to a place where I understand it. I understand it quite well. I understand sort of the patterns of how these things are building it. One of the patterns is incredibly modular. That is the idea that you want in the back of your mind. Modularity in code is very, very important, particularly for the AIs. The AIs like smaller code files that are 150, 200 rows or 150 rows and less for most of the code files. And so when you actually really dig into this, you see SRC stands for your source folder, has most of your main code. You'll see that a lot of these files are just short little files like this, right? None of them are long. And then you go to things like let's have a look. So you go to like pages like this, all of these, they're super, super modular. And that's how Lovable actually builds it for you mostly initially. That's how most of these AI coding tools actually build it for you initially. And that is a seriously good way to do it as well, right? And then you've got components. All these components just sort of feed into it as well. So when you're actually looking directly at the app like this, right? In behind the scenes, there is pages like this. This is a page, and then there's all these little components within it, right? And they're all being rendered together. So you see here that this is like a card component. This is a component. This text area is a component. This comment area is a component. This image area is a component. This is a component. So it's all just components layered one on top of the other. And that was a massive unlock for me when I actually started to really understand that. The way I'll just jump to no code. This is why we built no code. Okay, so I come from an analytical background. Have no real, I have no history in development historically. Have tried to learn how to code a few times and then given up like within a day because it was just felt like too much. But what these AI coding tools enable you to do is there is just an ability to accelerate the speed at which you can learn how to develop high quality applications. And so what you can do with no code is you can connect to a GitHub repo and you can see how these things are all rendered together, like I just described, right? So one of the ways you can figure that out is, okay, so let's go here. I've connected to the GitHub repo that we created in here. Okay, so all of this code here is now connected into no code. But what I had done, and what you can do as well, is you can click on, say, a page, right? Okay, so this index page, this is actually the main page here. Okay, but I can, within here, I can visually see everything that is connected to this particular page. Okay, so check this out. So this index page here, right? This has all of these what are called dependencies. And so right sidebar, post grid, create post button, welcome animation, feed summary banner, sidebar. So hopefully all these sound familiar. But you see here, that's all the things that are in here. Right sidebar, left navigation. What have we got? What did we have? Post grid, create post button. This is how personally I started to really figure out how all of these things sync together. Is via no code, via visuals, because it's so hard when you're a novice. It truly is. It's so hard when you don't really know what's going on, to do that in your mind, to like really understand it in your mind when you see things like this. And so this has just been the biggest unlock for me. And then what you can do post that. Okay, so say for instance we want to have a look at post grid. Okay. So you see here, we if we want to understand the code, we can very easily here. But then, okay, let's add, okay, post grid. Let's look for post grid. Okay, if I click on this, you'll see that post grid has a postcard. Just one second. Just one second. Yeah, so you see here, like visually, this is how I've really done it. This is visually how I've really started to understand how this all works together. And then I can go postcard, post. You see here, postcard, and then all of the things are connected up via that postcard. So this, to be honest, and this is why we built this. This is exactly why we built this. I built it for me. I honestly built it for me, and now it's going to be up for all enterprise DNA, us, those who are connected with us. Currently, actually free, but this is how I truly took my skills to a new level. Truly did, right? I realized not long ago, like a few months ago, that if I really wanted to get good at vibe coding, if I really wanted to be like truly truly good at this, I needed to understand how to code. I needed to understand how to build applications. It can only learning how this all works is cool. Like it's just you start really seeing so many opportunities out there. It's unbelievable what's possible. So what do I think is the best vibe coding tool? So I'm showcasing Lovable here. I personally have always really liked Lovable, but I'm like, everyone has different views. Everyone has different views on this, so it's hard to say what is the best. I think for me, this has been great, really, really good. But there's Bolt. There's Base. There's one called Base 24 or something. There's V0, which is really popular. And I think there's a couple other ones that just escaping me at the moment. But there's also these more like you can take yourself to the next level, and there's Windsurf and Cursor, and these more IDE type tools as well. So I use those quite extensively also when I feel like I need to. But I'm having really like in terms of just building my prototypes like this, I'm having really good experience. I'm getting really far with just Lovable at this point. So I was one of Lovable's like first users. Like I was really I stumbled upon them somehow, and I was one of their their beta users, like one of their first users. And as soon as I used it, I was like, wow, this is huge. This is going to be big because they just really made a lot of the hard stuff easy, and it's turned out that way. I mean, they're crushing it. They're absolutely crushing it. I think they've had over 1 million signups or something. But there's going to be a massive distribution of tools, of apps built. Not every app needs to be amazing. You can build a really valuable app that does one simple thing for you, and I think that that's fine. It's fine. It doesn't need to be this extensive thing that has every feature imaginable on it. One of the other things that I really love Lovable and these AI coding tools is they're amazing at just building simple websites. There's you had things like WordPress and Webflow and Framer, and you had all of these like website development tools, like no code development tools, and I love these tools for developing those sort of things really quickly as well. So here's just one example, right? So I built this pretty quickly, honestly. Like this is this new sort of website we're working on called eDNA HQ. So this is a new area within Enterprise DNA Suite. eDNA HQ that is going to be a location for all of our software that we're building. So it'll be easier to access and provide feedback and various other things. And so historically, I would have had to have spent, I don't know, would have had to hire someone to design it, to build it, etc. But I was able to whip this up in like 3 hours and get it to this sort of place, right? That's quite transformational, but that's also the benefit of these tools that where all of the big risks that a lot of people see with AI code is where it doesn't really matter. I mean, this is just a website. It's just a simple website that doesn't have a login. It doesn't have any AI APIs. It doesn't have anything that is seriously risky or has some sort of security aspect to it. It's just a simple, plain old website. And I was able to do this at 10 times less the cost and 10 times the speed, and it's probably better than anything I'd ever be able to create anyway. Right, so that's just a micro example of how transformational these things are and how valid using these tools are, even within business. Right, like what if you wanted to just create a simple central website for your team or something? You could do that so easy now. Where historically that wasn't the case. Maybe you want to create some informational website for your customers or your suppliers or something like that, where you just can send them to somewhere that has a lot of information about your business and about things that are going on. Like you can do that now. You can build sort of a central hub. Historically, this was quite difficult. It seriously was. And that is just the start. I mean, it's incredibly versatile, right? You can take it all the way to some AI driven application. So it's amazing, the versatility. But what I built inside of here is a way to we're slowly building it up, but that you'll be one click away from entering any of our applications. So for instance, you can jump into App Idea Engine. This is a website. This is a tool we launched not that long ago, where you can get a whole lot of advice on how to actually build certain applications. But you can also, so say for instance you're using it, you can come in here and you can place feedback about it. And then we've got this like public area where we're looking at all we can review all the feedback that's coming in. If you want to come in here, you can have a look at all of the different applications we've got. So we've got we've got, I don't know, like 5 applications we've released, and we've got about 3 to 4 more that are coming in the next couple of months. And so it's just, we need a central place to be able to place these. We are going to put them, somewhere in here as well, but we need a central place where, we can, get feedback and showcase various different things. And the other thing is, like, our application, this is sort of my own logic behind it, right? Is that our application, like, this is something that we built over 2 years. Like, this is 2 years of development work. It's highly, highly complex. I would never in my life be able to get across how my development team have built this, right? I'm better off to go and build something different, much simpler on a different URL, and stitch it all together myself, than get them to reconfigure the absolute beast that we've got here, of a piece of software. Like, this is so comprehensive. This is so much logic. I mean, the database is massive. We've got video rendering. We've just got everything in here, right? And so we're much better off to just keep it simple in this new AI era, I feel, and sort of do things in a slightly different way, rather than trying to, like, build everything into here. And I think that is, a solid strategy, like a more it's sort of, what's the word for it? Agile. It's more agile strategy, far more agile strategy. So got a question here. What strategy do you use to prompt? I don't have a strategy. I just don't. I do not have a strategy. My strategy is just to vibe. Is just to ask questions, ask as many questions as you possibly can. Just, like, keep talking. Just tell the AI what you want. Sometimes it doesn't do what you ask, and you got to re-ask it, and you got to tell it that it's stupid, and it needs to actually do what you ask. These AIs are not perfect. They're absolutely not perfect, but you can get there at the end with, like, a bit of perseverance. One of the other things that I've learned a lot in recent times is that you just want to make progress. You just want to make progress. Like, the worst thing you can do is just get stuck fixing a bug for like 4 hours. That's mentally the worst thing. If I get stuck for a while, when I get stuck for a while, and it's not doing what I'm asking, and I'm not getting there, I just move on. I move on to the next feature, and then I come back, and then usually I can find a way to fix it. And here's what my prompt strategy is. No, actually. So I have got so much better at telling the AI what I need, because I know what it's doing. This is such a big thing, right? In the beginning, right in the beginning, when I started this, I didn't really know what the AI was doing. I was just asking, but I didn't know how it was segmenting it like this. I did not know how it was actually building the application. Okay. So how it was building all of these files, because the AI is just writing code. It's just writing code. It's putting it into files. It's putting it into folders, right? At the beginning, I had no idea what any of this was doing. But now, this has been a huge unlock for me. I understand what it is doing at pretty much every point. And that is my prompting strategy now. Well, that's improved my prompting, because I'm very specific about, okay, I want you to create a hook that connects to this particular front end on my application, and I want it to do this. Another example, I need an AI API call to OpenAI, this OpenAI model, and I want the prompt to be this, and I want you to do the edge function within Superbase. So that is there's no, like, I don't find there's any benefit in getting too caught up in, like, specific prompts per se. But being more precise in what you're asking does make a big difference. Like, that has been a huge learning for me. And Sorry, can you hear me now? That was weird. So weird. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? It's far out. Bloody technology, eh? Oh, you can? You can? Okay. Cool. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I never was actually on mute. Like my light here was on. So I don't know. Cool. Sorry about that. I don't know where I got cut off. I think I was talking about the workflow. I was talking the flow between how much I'm doing and how much my developers are doing, right? So I vibe coding is cool, but I am a believer that you have such an advantage if you actually know what you're doing. Like, there's just no doubt about it, right? You can build very very simple things, just vibe coding, but to take it to the next level, you just have to know what's going on, or you need the resources. Like, you need good developers, right? Nothing has changed with the onset of AI development tools about best practices of development or anything like that. It's all exactly the same. So if you want to take your app to another level and make it incredible, you're going to need developers. You're going to need to be a developer yourself. Like that's reality. So for example, with no code, right? No code. So this was our this is our it's probably our first big tool that we've released. We've released a few, but this is our first major one where I did a little bit of prototyping, and then my developers took it to a new level. I prototyped what I wanted it within no code. I prototyped it in about 4 to 5 hours, but that 4 to 5 hours ended up being only about 2 to 3% of what it took to actually get it to this point, right? Maybe we could have done it quicker, but I wanted to, as we built it out, I realized I wanted this, and my developers are the ones who had the skills to sort of take that to another level, and then I've been working on other things, right? And it's still not. It's still got a few little things that annoy me, like things like this, which I keep telling my developers that they need to fix. But so that was one example. But then there's a spectrum, right? There's this entire spectrum of apps that are going to be developed. But then if I come to EDNA HQ, I mean, I've done this entirely myself. I've done this entire thing myself, from building it to actually launching it to getting the URL, like sorting out the URL, because this is just a static website. This is quite simple. I don't need to involve my developers to help me actually build this, right? This AI builders, I mean, I've just built this all myself so far. I haven't involved anyone else, and I've got incredibly far. I think eventually I'm going to get my developers to have a look at it, but I think this is my best build I've ever done. I am fully across how it's been done, how it's been built. I know all parts of the code base, etc., like quite extensively now. So I would be comfortable launching it without getting them involved, but I will get their eyes on it just to do a check. But also, no code. Like, the idea with no code is that we are trying to make it incredibly like so much more achievable to actually know all the ins and outs, including security, right? Even like including the security issues that a lot of people have a lot of concerns about. So I'll show you. I just got to log in here. Just give me a second. So you've probably seen it. I mean, I'd be interested to hear what you think, but every like sort of senior developer out there just is so concerned about security, and I'm sure a lot of businesses are as well, right? I think this is going to be solved, though. Like, I really, really do. Like, first of all, it's in Lovable's interest to actually do this, right? And so what you'll see here, check this out. what they've done is they now have a security aspect, I think, of their. Oh, if you publish it, so if you publish it here like this, right? Secure. It gives you Superbase has this security thing. Yeah, I'll make my screen a little bit bigger. So it's trying to help you with security here. Okay. So these are some. So what is this? This is AI builders. Like, no, I don't think any of these are that important here. These are more like database issues. But what we're doing inside of here, I'll show you, is we're going deep, absolutely deep into security as well. So these are all my repos, by the way. These are all the repos in my GitHub repository. Sorry, this is annoying. Let me just get this. So what you can do also is you can just come in here and jump out of a few of these things. Where is this damn thing? Okay, I'll just go back here. Okay, upgrades. So we actually have a security tab right in here now. So this is an entire section of no code that is about security. So this is a good one. So this is good. So don't think vibe coding can only build an app shell. This is something very basic. Wouldn't it be very hard to push something completely agile into production? So yeah, so that's what I've been talking about. So that's what I've been saying, is that it is incredible for building simple things. I think you can get a lot further than you think, though. Like you can actually get you can build like really high quality prototypes now. But yeah, look, as I've been saying, you can build an entire app. You can build the front end, you can build the back end, you can build all the AI automations you want. But you hit a ceiling with just pure vibe coding, right? Like you've got to take things to another level. You just got to know what you're doing. You got to actually become a developer. But the thing is, becoming a developer is nowhere near as hard as it once was. Like there is ways, like you can, obviously AI can teach you so much quicker than before. But also, like this is exactly why I built no code. I think there's this massive gap of making that bridge from vibe coding to actually building high quality apps so much easier, right? And that's what no code does, right? It enables you to learn while you're actually building, right? And learn about all the things that might be very non-obvious, like security, for example, right? So what we do here is for AI builders, our community site is we go and analyze every single file that has some sort of security risk to it, right? We go and analyze everything, and we tell you exactly what you need to watch for, what you need to do. So I can go analyze all. Okay, so we're making like 15 AI calls in one go, and it's looking at all the different risks, right? But telling you that in the last month or so, I've learned that you can get incredibly far now. Like the latest models are the latest models are enabling you to get further and further and further down the line, right? Like AI builders here, right? I could easily, like, this is a complete app. This is a complete app. It has complete front end, complete back end, AI automate, like AI integrations everywhere. It works. It's got a lot of cool features embedded into it. I mean, I could happily push this to production. It's not Twitter, it's not Facebook, but I could happily use this as an internal tool within a business for a community or social media site easily. So I've been able to get there by myself vibe coding. I mean, like vibe coding is, really just the start of developing something, right? But it gets you going. It gets you going, and then you need to sort of like grow out of that, and you need to become like a lot more precise about what you're doing later on, and really asking specific things like, getting it to make quite precise updates to your database, or quite precise updates to some of the AI queries you might make, and things like that. Okay. So hopefully that gives you a bit of insight. Yeah. So you can implement backend systems. Yeah, you can. You can. If you provide the correct information, like that's why I'm saying, like I talked about this at the start, like Lovable enables you to do so much of that. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible what's possible. But it's made a lot easier when you know what you're doing. That is 100% the case. But 4 apps with a bunch of AI backends. I leverage ChatGPT to debug and explain things. Yeah. Yep. Awesome. It's totally possible. Totally possible. I mean, it's kind of like a really weird time, right? It's so new, and like, there's a lot of gatekeeping out there. I'm sure you've read it. There's such a divide on LinkedIn, particularly about vibe coding, right? And AI coding. I have sort of strong feelings on the side of, you can build meaningful stuff here. You can build meaningful stuff through these AI tools. Okay, you absolutely can. And personally, I'm just gonna keep showing people how you do it and how you can do it. But it's not all positive. There's some downsides. There's some negatives. It's not all like breezy, and you don't just vibe your way to some amazing app. Like, you've got to put in the hard work, just like anything. It's just like, if you're developing a Power BI report, there's nothing easy about building a high quality Power BI report or some VBA coded solutions, right? Like, there's no difference here. Like, but this is a new sort of realm that is opening up for those who want to put in the time and want to put in the effort, right? That's what I truly believe. I don't know how to code either, but the barrier for entry was removed. Yeah, Windsurf. Yeah, so I have Windsurf as well. Windsurf is so Lovable is sort of like is all within your website, a web domain, right? So it's on the web, which is pretty amazing to think. But Windsurf, if I show you, why don't I just show you a bit of Windsurf? Because I'm actually working on something within Windsurf as well. I'll just have to share this other page here. Just one second. Just give me a sec. So this is Windsurf. Okay, so this is an IDE. So a lot of these AI dev tools have what they've called forked. They've taken Visual Studio Code, which is an open source project, and they've taken the shell of it, and they have put their a custom AI into it, and that's what Windsurf has done really, really well. Cursor is the other one, right? They have a AI called Cascade. I've always been a massive Windsurf fan because I just thought it was a lot easier to use than Cursor initially. I will say though that I used Cursor last week to help me build out a website, and I was impressed. I was really impressed. I thought they've made it a lot easier, a lot easier, because they've brought in this sort of what they're calling agentic agents that sort of do multiple steps for you, and so that's made quite a big difference. Yeah. So, but it's so easy. I mean, you're just literally, doing the same sort of thing. The only thing you've got to do here is things like this. And by the way, I'm just going to voice type. Okay. Can you please start the development server for this? So you need to know these sort of things. Like, you need to know, okay, to actually get a view of what this code is. How do you do that? Okay, well, you got to start a development server. And so you see here that it's on local host 8080. So I'll go back to the web in a second. So sorry. Oh, no, I can't show you because I've got a bit of an error. wonder if I can show you. Why don't I show you? I'll show you. I'll show you the boring parts of developing. Why don't I do that? It's not all vibing, honestly. Stop screen sharing. I wish it was all vibing, but it's not. Okay, here we go. So got a question here. So have you noticed performance issues in terms of the number of concurrent users connected to your AI app? Would the number of concurrent users depend on your backend? So, well, I haven't, because none of our, I mean, I think your apps need to be insanely popular for that to be an issue. Yeah. So I think it's actually more like a server side thing. So I'll just show you. So, so servers are where, so you got to, all this was such an unlock for me. So how maybe some of you got a question, like, how do you actually render this on a website? That is, I think, a bit of a mystery to a lot, right? So what happens is, like, when you start using GitHub extensively, you realize, okay, so GitHub is just where where all of the files that the AI is building. GitHub is a central location to manage those files. That's really what GitHub is. Funnily, I didn't have a clue what that even was or meant like 12 months ago, but now I'm much more across it, obviously. So what I do to actually render the site is you need a server. You need a server that can take all of those code files and render it on a front end website for you. And that's what Netlify does. Netlify does, well, there's a lot of tools that do this, but Netlify is a sort of like a simple way to do it. Like it takes a lot of the more complicated things and just makes it super easy, because all you need to do to actually put up a site is you just need to connect to GitHub. That's it. You just connect to GitHub and you're done. So you see here that the way that I'm rendering AI builders on a proper site is I have just connected my GitHub repo, my main GitHub repo for AI builders. I've rendered it to this particular website here, and Netlify look after all the rest, right? And we've done the same on all of our apps. So you'll see here that I've got, these are all the apps we're working on at the moment, right? Like, I think this is all of them. So we've got, what have we got here? 12 apps. Not all of them are launched, or all of them, not all of them are that good. The only, interestingly enough, the only one that is not currently on here now is no code. This is because we have, there has been a few limitations that my developers have found because this app has become quite extensive. Like it's huge now. Like it is a big app. My developers have taken over. They've taken it to another level, a level that I never would have been able to achieve myself. And they wanted to move it to AWS. They wanted to move it to a more serious server application, because of the number of the information we need to start storing in databases, and also just how much we're actually rendering on the site. I think that you can just get a little bit more heavy duty infrastructure through AWS. I think. Okay, don't ask me. I'm not like an absolute expert on like AWS and things like that. I sort of just know a bit about it, but nothing extensive. So this is the only one that's not Netlify. But for a lot of the apps that we're just putting into eDNA labs and that we're going to put into, like, we're literally just testing and letting enterprise DNA users like play around with. I mean, we're never going to have that many users initially, right? So my strategy with our developers at the moment, right, is let's create just MVPs, prototype apps, see if they're popular, see if people are getting use out of them. And if they are, well, then we need to explore, let's just use all of the simple things that enable us just to move fast, like to get things out there. If they do look like they're going to become meaningful and we do have a lot of users, well, and we sort of reach a point where we can't do, like, take them any further with the current infrastructure that we've got, then we'll explore something else. So, that's I think that's a totally legitimate strategy that you could use within a business as well, right? There's no point in spending 6 months building something if no one's going to use it. So this is the sort of cadence I think that you probably want to get into right now. Like, just see if something's useful, get feedback, iterate. Like software and apps are never a finished product. They're a living application. Like you're always going to need to keep working on them. And so, I think you just do what you need to do to get feedback, and then you iterate. You keep moving, and you keep evolving it. Does anyone have any other like specific questions about all this, or can I just keep going on about a variety of different things? I can come back to this. I was going to come back to the security area here, right? So the idea is that we want everyone to. So security is the biggest thing that that those in the development world have a massive issue with AI development tools, right? So we're going to build the most comprehensive security advisor tool that you possibly can create. Like that is our goal, right? So, we've got flags to say like what is high risk, what is not that big a deal. So, for example, okay, so Superbase client TS. So this file initializes the Superbase client with the project URL and publishable key. It exports the Superbase client. Ensure that the Superbase URL and publishable key are stored securely and not exposed to the client-side code. So this is the big issue, right? It's the keys, it's the URLs, it's the keys. So if someone was able to get your URL and publishable key out of your code, well, then that is a security issue. Like that is the issue. And so you need to be smart about how you actually manage that, right? And so this is how, the AI can help you do this, right? The AI, you just need to know what to ask. So the AI is not going to proactively going to tell you how to actually manage this, right? And maybe it would if you specifically ask it, but the more specific you are on anything with these AI tools, the more specific output you'll get, and the more specific actions you'll get. Okay. So I think these red ones are so these ones are the low risk. So these ones are the really high risk ones that we see in your code base, and these are medium risk. So how do you prevent hackers? I mean, I think this is the way, right? Like it's the keys, it's the API keys and things like that. That is what you need to be really conscious of, and that's what we're trying to really highlight here. I don't know why these are disappearing. There's obviously a bit of a bug that we've got to fix, but okay, it's because of this. Is it? Oh no, they moved down to medium. So this is the highest issue. This is the highest issue that we see, and then so you can also go view file. Okay, so it looks like we might. So this is interesting. This looks like we might need to make some updates to it, right? So implement row-level security to control data access and prevent unauthorized access. Consider using a dedicated secret management service to store you. So I think I actually do, by the way. I need to. So if I come in here, the Lovable enables you to do a lot of the security stuff. I come to edge functions and I go secrets. This is actually all my secrets, right? These are all my secrets here. So they should be all right. One of the things that I did wrong that my developers really called out initially is that I used to have my API keys in my actual code, but what they have advised me over and over again is that you want your any key to be on the what's called the server side. So this is sort of the backend server side of the application, and these get sent to here, I think. When the site renders, right? So they're hidden away. They're hidden away, and so there's no way even if someone did hack into your database, right? Like you can't even get the keys. There's no way to get the keys in here. If you wanted to create a key here, you'd need to regenerate it. So there's a lot of, but if it was in your code, right? If they were able to get into your code, well, then they would be able to steal your key. So that's one of the big security issues I would say that you need to try and prevent. And so the idea is that we want to highlight this stuff. Like this is the sort of stuff that you need to need to try be quite across. So let's go to one of these other ones. That's also why I think AI Builders, this latest one that I've been building, this is actually my best work. This is my best work because I've been managing a lot of these issues. So I've been like really a lot smarter about a lot of these things, where I wasn't so much in the past, and I was really learning a lot. But now that I'm sort of a lot more competent than I was previously, a lot of these things are just happening naturally. But that's the opportunity, right? Like, that's the opportunity that I see. Instead of saying and not doing anything because of security, I'm like, let's figure out a way to teach people security. Like this like security in applications is not some dark art that 10 people in the world know how to do it properly, right? Like it's totally solvable in my opinion. I mean, when I hear people shout about security and all this kind of stuff, yes, I think it's important, but that is just an excuse to do nothing and to not explore what's possible now, in my opinion, right? That's just a recipe to do nothing. So, I'm all about taking action, learning new things, right? Like, yes, you don't want to just be vibe coding away and, using API calls and API keys, and, there's fundamental risk there, yes, because someone could take your key and run up thousands of dollars of costs. Someone could get into your database and take data from your database, right? If it's important information. These are the things that you just got to be really mindful of. Like, this is the sort of level that you want to get to. These are the considerations you got to start thinking about if you want to take this seriously, if you want to really get into this and really build meaningful applications, right? I'm never going to be a person who would say just vibe code away and who cares? Like, that's just not the case. It's just not the case. But you can get so far vibe coding, and then you get to a ceiling, and then you realize, okay, to create something super meaningful, super valuable, you need to learn a little bit more. You need to get serious about this sort of stuff. But anyone can achieve it. Anyone. I have become a very competent developer, even though I don't write any code, within about 6 months, I think. I'd say 6 months. So that's not very long. Not long at all. And, I think we're probably on track. We're going to release probably, 15 to 20 applications at Enterprise DNA, or me personally, over the next year. So that's quite transformative if you think about it. And this is what I truly believe you could do as a business. If you actually skilled up a whole range of people within a business, the flywheel that you could create, is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Like the way, and it's also the fact it's not just building software like we did historically. It's software with AI within it. That is how you're gonna. That's the next level, right? Adding in voice, adding in vision, adding in text, imagery, video. All these new things that are coming on stream. Like this is the opportunity. There's just so many opportunities to improve things within a business, to create new opportunities for yourself. It's really, really exciting. Super exciting. One of the other things we just added to no code actually was this code agent. So it doesn't actually look at anything specifically in your code, but what it does is that you can have a conversation. So you can just talk to an AI about anything to do with coding very quickly, just like one click, code agent, and then you can have a conversation. And it calls 11 Labs. We're paying for all of the as part of the app. We're paying for all of the AI calls. But this is also a way. So like if you want to ask questions about like specific things that you don't know that much about, you can. And so I've been using. We've only had this for like a week, but I've been using it a little bit just to school up on a few things. What else? Just wondering what else I could show you. What else have we been working on? Oh, I could show you Power Vibes if you want. So Power Vibes, I'll show. This is a very interesting example. Very interesting. Let me just get rid of a few of these things. So, a good question. Good question. Which AI model am I using for most of my ads? Okay, so let me just divert to this one. So, historically, I used OpenAI for a lot of them, but I've also moved to Gemini recently. But you know, the biggest, like one of the biggest changes I've made in the last month or so was I started to use this service called OpenRouter, and this is really good idea. Okay, so what OpenRouter enables for you is you can connect into any model. So you have one API. So all you have to do, because what happens if you build a comprehensive app and you have a lot of API calls, but you do it with OpenAI or you do it with Google, you then are stuck in your app with only those models from those suppliers, right? Because if you wanted to change it, you'd have to go and change every single file that has that code in it, right? Because they have different structure to the code to make the API call. But what OpenRouter does is it has all of the models in one place, in one location, and you can use their API, and then all you need to do is use their model, change it to their model name, and then they'll go and do the routing. They'll go and do the routing for you. And so, how this is beneficial is that, say you want to test how your app acts with any different model, you can do it so much easier with OpenRouter. So, say for instance, for God's sake, it's out of game. Can't be. Really? Can you hear me now? God, what the freaking hell is going on? Sorry, I don't know what the hell is going on. I did not touch a damn thing. Did not touch anything. Can you hear me or not? Sorry, man. Sorry, guys. I don't know what the hell's going on. I can't even show my voice anymore. Okay, you can hear me? Okay, well, that's good. Okay, so if you can hear me, I'm sorry if you can't. Hopefully it's all right. But anyway, OpenRouter enables you to route to any model very, very quickly. All you need to do is change the model name, right? So there's ways that you can structure your code. Well, if you have like all of these different AI calls within your model, within your application, you can change the model name in one place and then feed that through into every single file. And then all of a sudden your entire application could be a different model. And that is insanely powerful to do it that way. God, what is going on with my camera? Okay, now something is certainly up with this tech. My mic is muted. What the fuck? Okay, I don't know what the hell's going on. This is really annoying. I am not backstage, you stupid piece of crap. Okay. Hopefully, just let me know if you can't hear me. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying. It's saying that it just turned off my camera automatically. Okay, I'll just keep talking. If you can hear me, that'd be great. Let me know. So, yeah, that's that. That's Open Router. Okay. Yeah. So Power Vibes. This is this new tool that we're bringing out soon. Just been doing a bit of like a lot of testing on it. But basically, you'll be able to get all of your metadata from your Power BI reports and then feed it into here, and we run tons of AI automations to give you advice. Like it's like a Power BI advisor, basically. So I was testing it this morning, and so you can put in information, like you can get metadata out of any report. We'll do a whole lot of summarization for you, and then we do a whole lot of analysis for you. So you can look at things like you can look at all aspects of your Power BI report. So DAX measures, Power Query formulas, data. Look at your data model. It'll give you advice on visualizations, analysis that you can do. We have it all basically automated to happen. And then what you can also do is you can highlight like any aspect like of formulas or any advice or anything, and with one click you can get advice on that. So you can get information like learning information. So very, very similar to no code, very, very similar. But this is the opportunity. This was an opportunity I saw. I actually, by the way, I vibe coded about 50% of this myself, and then I did it like when I probably didn't. I wasn't as competent as I am now. So there was a lot of holes and stuff, and I sent it to my developers who've taken it to the next level, just like they did no code. But I did a lot more of this myself. I really set the direction of this comprehensively. Like I built all of the AI APIs. I built all of the structure, the setup, the styling, every feature within here. I built myself, and what they've done is they've come in and just like made it all work seamlessly, right? And so I think I have a good feeling about this, right? I actually am finding this insanely helpful myself, and so I think that this is gonna, like a lot of others will as well. Like this can absolutely speed up your development in Power BI. Absolutely, no doubt in my mind. Like not only from a getting formulas and things like that, but actually learning, like actually knowing what's going on in your model and how you can improve your model, what analysis you can do, that sort of thing. I don't think it's going to detract from actually anything to do with knowing how to actually do build high quality Power BI reports, but it's going to speed things up a lot. It's going to make you a whole lot more productive. So as an example, so this was a banking report. So to do a comprehensive analysis of what you can do from an analytical perspective. So this document outlines a comprehensive set of analysis categories and techniques applicable to this data model. Descriptive analysis, what happened, client demographics and account holdings, understand the basic character. So it's like really detailed. It's incredibly versatile as well. So like you can, I've got, if I go back to my projects, I've got like an insurance demo. This was a different demo one as well, I think. No, this is financial reporting. Actually, this was the financial reporting. So see here a lot of different tables, all to do with financial reporting.
So it just gives you a whole lot of detail so quickly. Like this all happens within a minute. It's unbelievable. It's crazy. But yeah, what's cool about this was a really high quality collaboration, and this is a perfect example of what you could do internally within a business, right? I came to this with my developers don't know anything about Power BI. They know nothing. But I was able to vibe code my way or get this code built up to a way without writing any code. I was able to get this to a place where I knew this would be helpful for Power BI because I understood Power BI and I had the domain knowledge. And then I was able to build a lot of it out. And then I obviously sent it to them though to take it to their next level, right? To really help me make it a lot better. It kind of was working when I got to the end of it, but I did need their expertise and eyes to sort of really make it solid, like really solid. Also, there was no way that I was going to be able to build this extractor tool, and so this is a key part. This is actually what's taken the longest. I had no part in this. Building this metadata extractor tool that was quite hard. That was very very a lot to it. So that's going to be that I don't think that could have been vibe coded, honestly. Okay, I think I might round off soon. What is everyone's thoughts? I'm sorry about the sort of technical issues, but this is why I'm doing more of these live streams, because I'm trying to make sure that we actually make these things work. I don't know why my video is not working. Any questions? Anyone got any thoughts, questions? Does everyone like this content? Because I love talking about it. I love talking about this stuff. I think this is just such a huge opportunity for early adopters. I mean, it's still so early. I would not be surprised if this gets even easier and brings more people on board. I really would not be surprised at all. And I think that building some of these things or building some simple prototypes with these tools is as easy as it is learning to build Power BI reports. Like, it honestly is. It is now, anyway. Maybe it wasn't 6 to 9 months ago, but it is now. No doubt about it. Like, just being able to build things like this, like a community site that we're going to roll out shortly, right? Like, I mean, I would never even dreamt of building this. Never even dreamt of it. And even a year ago, even 6 months ago, probably. But this is like we're gonna roll this out. We're gonna replace our existing tool. I'm gonna save on the subscription, and I can customize this around what the community wants and what we want and what I want. And that is just a micro example of what this is enabling, what this new wave is enabling. What do you think? What else would be useful, like around content for this, or sharing ideas around this? One of the I really sign up to No Code here. Okay, so really make sure if you want to get serious, about this, you want a No Code account. Also, Power Vibes we're gonna release this next week sometime, so that will be coming out there also. Yeah, I mean, if there's look, I'm open to ideas about other ways we can share info around this, but I think showing whilst doing is sort of where I think things are at. I think that's where we can add the most value. There's a lot of hesitancy, I think, out there still around this, which is surprising. But from what I'm seeing, there's just opportunities everywhere, absolutely everywhere. One of the things that I other ideas I had, right, was, so we have this tool called App Idea Engine. I really think we need to build this out a little bit more to actually maybe help with ideas, because what you can do is you can type in things like, I want to build a Twitter clone or something. Twitter clone. Okay, so you can build in what do you want to build, and then what it does, like it gives you an idea of what you can build, and then we give you very very detailed documentation of how you can build it. So they used to call these PRD documents. So this in app development world, this is basically what we're building, but we're doing it with AI. But what I think we need to layer onto this is maybe actually just give inspiration about what you can build, what you like, not only like how do you build it, but what could you build. So like if you're sitting within a finance team or you're sitting within a marketing team, what could you build? And I think what could you build with AI layered into it? That's kind of the idea. I think that's where we can add a lot more value as well, because maybe it's that inspiration, that creative part of things as well, where I think we can add a bit of value. But the idea here is like, who are your primary target audience? Well, you can click on this button, and it tells you. It comes up with ideas for you that you can either use or you can adjust, right? And then you can go create all, and then it will just go and do it all for you as well. So I think there's more we can do with this particular app as well. That is currently located in EDNA HQ. But we'll see. We're all out. We are all like, I am all out. I've got my entire team all out. Building some really really useful applications and really seeing where we can take this new wave to. Right. I don't think it like every tool that we use and we've got content on is still incredibly important. But this is a new thing. Like this is a new opportunity. It doesn't take away from anything that we're currently doing. It just adds a new layer of things that we can do. And that's exciting. It's exciting in my opinion. Okay, cool. Sorry, I sort of have lost my camera there, even though it tells me that it's working and that it's on, but it seems to have just like disappeared. But yeah, look, I'm going to round off. And I'll see you next time. Okay, I'm going to keep live streaming and showing you what I'm building, showing you what I'm doing, and yeah, look forward to catching up with you next time. Okay, thanks all.